What's up guys, I've been using the Galaxy S4 for a week now, and at least in my opinion it feels like an evolutionary upgrade rather than a major upgrade over the Galaxy S3. If I put them together right now, you can see that even though there are some slight differences to the design of the S4, they still hold a very similar characteristic. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It means that people upgrading and people that know Samsung devices won't be unfamiliar with the S4. But what it means is when you pick up the S4, you're not going to be absolutely wowed by it if you're coming from the S3 at least. It has a very similar shape and design, and TouchWiz, even though yes, the S4 has some extra features, it still feels very similar and it still feels pretty much the same. It's got exactly the same animations, pretty much exactly the same sounds as well. So yeah, saying that, the S4 does have a spec update in pretty much every department you can think of. So, it definitely has some cool features and it definitely has some nice upgrades. So let's go ahead and talk about those. When you pick up the S4, the first thing you're going to notice is definitely the gorgeous display, and it really is fantastic. In terms of its specs, it's 5-inch Full HD Super AMOLED technology with a pixel density of 441. The only minus for the screen is it does have a Pentile matrix, but because of the resolution and because of the PPI, you're really not going to notice. If I just hold this up to the camera here and let it focus in, you can just see how clear everything is, how vivid everything is. The contrast ratio is going to be unbeatable on an AMOLED display. You can just see it here. Colors really do pop off the screen. And because it's an AMOLED display, you also get amazing viewing angles. And if you see it here, I slightly start to turn the device. You can still see it all the way until it's pretty much turned completely. So viewing angles are absolutely fantastic on the S4 thanks to this AMOLED technology. You can see it here. I've pretty much turned it fully and you can still see it. I think they tout it as 180 degrees viewing angle, so it's pretty damn amazing, and definitely one of the best displays I've used. I actually showed this to some iPhone 5 users and they were amazed. They actually asked me if it was 3D. That's how much this stuff pops off the screen. If I jump into the gallery here, you can see some of the pictures I took. And again, colors are very, very vivid. Now, I know some people don't like AMOLED displays because they think that it's not true to life, and to some degree they are true. But I do think this display goes a little bit further. It is a little bit better in terms of that. It does feel like it's not overly saturated, so it's quite nice. If I just hold this up to the screen here, it's absolutely fantastic, crystal clear, and the image is amazing on this display. We'll go to the other picture here. Again, you can see very high colors, very high contrast, beautiful display, and it really, really does pop off the screen. It's just fantastic. So yeah, we'll play a clip in YouTube as well, just so we can test it out. And like I said, this is Full HD, so you can take advantage of 1080p content like this right here on YouTube. So you can play 1080p natively. You haven't got any on-screen buttons like the Nexus devices, so you get the full 5-inch display. It's actually 4.99 inches, but we're not going to argue over that. And yeah, definitely one of the best displays I've used. It will be interesting to see how this holds up against the HTC One display, because again, that was one of the best ones I've used as well. It's going to be a really interesting battle between those two, but nonetheless, that is the screen. Absolutely fantastic. The loudspeaker's also been improved on the S4, and it is very loud and it is still very clear. We'll turn it all the way up. You can hear it's very loud and it stays clear. So you can see it's very loud and very clear, but like I said, I don't think it has the depth or the bass of the HTC One's Beats and Boom Sound speakers, but still very good from the S4. Moving on to device performance, and this is where it gets a little bit strange. Under the hood, we have the Snapdragon 600 clocked at 1.9 gigahertz. We have the Adreno 320 GPU and 2 gigabytes of RAM. Now, with these sort of stats, we shouldn't ever see any lag, but that just isn't the case. 95% of the time, the device is very smooth and very quick. You've got epic fast transitions, no problems whatsoever. For the other 5%, the device will randomly slow down, and it's kind of hard to reproduce. Sometimes when a notification comes in, it just struggles and stuff starts to slow down, the animations slow down. Even if it's for a split second, it does kind of annoy you, and I probably won't even be able to show you it here because it is very, very random. And it's just weird. I don't know why it is, but I've noticed that you can see there, right there, the animation was kind of slow when it came back up. Why? Samsung, you need to fix this. This device has one of the best processors it should never slow down. I mean, if we check out the benchmark scores here, on Antutu it scores 24,506. Pretty much the highest device you can get, bar its other brother, the other variant of the Galaxy S4. And in Quadrant, it scores 12,535. So in terms of raw power, it's all there. I'm not sure if it's TouchWiz bogging it down or if there's other functions bogging it down, but something is going on and slowing it down in that 5%. And it is kind of annoying. It does get on your nerves, especially when you expect it to have no lag whatsoever. But generally, performance is very good. I just wish they could get rid of that 5% where it slows down. Samsung also included an absolute buttload of software features for the Galaxy S4. If we check some of those out right now, it includes stuff like Air View, Air Gesture, Smart Stay, and Smart Scroll. If we dive into the gallery, we can check some of those out. So this is Air View, where you hover your finger above the screen. You don't actually touch it, and you get a preview of what's in the folder. So you can see, I can see all the different pictures in that folder. Kind of cool, and again, it does work really well. You can see there's no problem with how it works. Is it something you're going to use daily? Probably not. Is it something you can show off to your iPhone friends? Definitely yes. We can also see the gesture stuff right here. If I go into, I can wave my hand over the display without touching it again, and I can flick between my pictures as easy as that. Again, is it quicker than just using a finger to switch? Probably not. Are we going to start waving our hand over the display to do this all the time? Again, probably not, but it's something cool to show off. You've also got some other ones. We know Smart Stay, where you can look at the screen and it won't turn off the screen unless you're looking at it, which is kind of cool. Probably the most useful one out of all the features. You've also got Smart Scroll, and this is where you can kind of tilt your head up and down to scroll up and down the web page. For me, this seems like a complete waste of time. I'm never ever going to use this, and I will just turn it off. Now, what you should note about these features is they do actually slow down the phone quite a lot. I ended up just turning most of these right off, because once you turn them off, you will notice that the phone is a lot quicker. These do really take some performance out of your phone. So if you don't use them, turn them off. Moving on to my favorite upgrade for the Galaxy S4, and it has to be the 13 megapixel camera. I really can't say enough about this. It's absolutely amazing. The sharpness, the detail. If we open it up right here, we have a ton more features than you got in the Galaxy S3, which we'll go through in a minute. But the actual clarity of the pictures is absolutely fantastic. The color reproduction is great. It's very, very sharp, as you'd expect from a 13 megapixel camera. You can see I can zoom right into this bug here, and it's still pretty damn sharp. If we check out a different picture, again, beautiful colors, and the sharpness is just fantastic. If we check out this, which is another picture I took with the Galaxy S4, I can zoom all the way into this fountain here, and I can still see it pretty sharp. Yes, it does start to pixelate if you zoom all the way in, but the 13 megapixel camera really helps with this zooming in. So definitely a great upgrade for the camera right here. It's also capable of shooting 1080p at 30 frames per second, which again is fantastic. And if I shut up, you can hear the microphone quality.
This time I'm going to be speaking through it so you can listen to how good the microphone is. I've also changed some of the settings. I've turned off the video stabilization so we can see if that makes any difference whatsoever. And yeah, let's check it out. So I was actually... Here we go. So I'm not actually touching the screen at all now.
If you want the best camera on a smartphone, go with the Galaxy S4. It really does have the best. Samsung have also given you a ton more features in the actual camera app as well, and you can see the camera app right here. You can see it's slightly redesigned from what we've known on the Galaxy S3. If you click mode here, you can flick between your modes in this nice little carousel. You've got night, sports, panorama, eraser, so you can get rid of photo bombers. HDR, animated photos, so you can make your own GIFs. That's actually really cool. Drama, sound and shot, which is what they advertise the most. Best face, best photo, beauty face, and back to auto. So this is the sound and shot feature, and this is where you can take a picture and record the sound at the same time. So you could theoretically take a picture of your junk, send it to your girlfriend and say, you wish you were here. You know, that sort of thing. But let's take a picture right here of my Galaxy S3. And you can see it starts to record right now, and you can just say what you want and it will send with the picture when you send the picture. So it's actually kind of cool. We'll just hit stop right now and let's play this back.
And you can see it starts
so there's the still picture and there's the sound.
What you want and it will send with the picture when you send the picture. So it's actually kind of cool.
So like I said, you can send a picture of your junk to your girlfriend and say, I wish you were here, or something clever, you know. Could be kind of funny, could be kind of funny to use. Another feature Samsung was showing off was the ability to take a picture or record the front-facing and back-facing camera at the same time, which is kind of cool. You activate it using this middle button right here, and you'll see this little frame appear. And there it is. And you can resize this, you can move it around, and you can see my camera and me behind it. And if you take a picture, it takes the picture in the background and the front-facing camera. If we check this out in the gallery, you can see the back picture over here and you can see your reaction over here. So I guess this will be useful if you're taking pictures of something ridiculous like, I don't know, the pyramids, and you have a really kind of wow reaction. You can see your face going, oh my God, and you'll see the pyramids in the background. So kind of cool. Like I said, it also works with video. So if we press back up here, take a video, spin it around for a bit, we can press stop. Check that out in the gallery, and it recorded video for both the back and front facing camera, which is kind of cool, right? So another cool feature from Samsung. Again, I don't know how much you're going to use it, but it's nice to have the option. You've also got live effects, so you can pull these up by tapping this arrow right here, and you've got all these different effects which you can do in real time. So you can click and you can see in real time it has actually changed what I'm looking at, which is a nice feature, because you don't have to wait for it to take to apply. You can just do it and see what it's like, and you can switch between them effortlessly, which is no problem whatsoever. So there you go, that's the camera app, and like I said, a lot more software features than you got at the Galaxy S3. Some cool ones, some not so useful ones, but yeah, definitely an impressive camera on the Galaxy S4. Moving on to call quality, and the Galaxy S4 is excellent in this department. I didn't have any problems with drop calls, and in terms of clarity, the voices were very clear and loud from the internal speaker. It also has a dedicated noise cancelling microphone to get rid of background noises, and 90% of the time this worked really well. It was only when there was a kind of loud, sharp breeze that it struggled a little bit, but nonetheless, the call quality is absolutely excellent. In terms of storage, we know the Galaxy S4 has an external SD card slot which allows you to expand the memory, but in terms of the internal storage, I bought the 16GB model. It does also come in 32 and 64. Out of that available 16 gigabytes advertised space, I actually only have 9.15 available to me. So that is quite a lot less than advertised. And you can see once you've installed some games and some apps, I only have 1.71 gigabytes available to me. So you actually don't get anywhere near 16 gigabytes. And I guess that's because of TouchWiz and all these extra features and bloatware that Samsung puts on the device. But I mean, that is quite a lot less than the 16 available gigabytes. It's pretty much 7 gig less than advertised. So be careful when you check out the storage on these devices. In terms of battery life, the Galaxy S4 has a 2600 milliamp hour battery, and I've actually been very, very impressed with the battery life. Now you can see here I scored 12 hours, 31 minutes, 21 seconds, and I still had 44% left. I really do think that this device is going to get through even the heaviest user through the day. So it's very impressive. If you want to see more on battery life, I've made a full video on just the battery life for the Galaxy S4 where I go into a lot more detail. So yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's the full review for the Galaxy S4. I am going to stick with what I said at the beginning of the video, that the Galaxy S4 to me feels like an evolution rather than a major upgrade. Saying that, it does still have a really nice screen and a really nice camera, but all those kind of software features to me just seem a little bit gimmicky, and in fact I've ended up turning them all off because they slow down the device a little bit too much. I hope Samsung can fix those little performance problems with an update, but there you have it. That's the Galaxy S4. Let me know your opinions. Peace out.